Hello everybody! Hope you are well. Thought for today. So much of England and Wales' countryside and our rivers is off limits to the public. Laws of trespass keep us forced out of landscapes that we long to roam on, and these laws are different just a few miles away in Scotland. These laws disconnect us from nature, adventure, and the quiet freedom that wild places offer us. But is our only option to stay obediently on the path? Or can we find a way to wander responsibly and leave a positive trace instead of a destructive one? Now, confession. For many years, I was not concerned at all about the right to roam movement. We've got an incredible network of public footpaths. And also, whenever I fancy going for a swim, I've always been happy just to jump into the nearest river or lake. When I went wild camping, I was very happy just to keep a low profile, arrive late, bivvy quietly, leave no trace, and make sure I was gone before the world woke up and any farmers with their slurry tankers got to work. And I've had so many micro-adventures over so many years with absolutely no problems at all. However, cursed be to books as usual, because then I started to learn more about land use, about how much of our countryside isn't a thriving wilderness, but is actually a degraded, neglected, ecologically barren place. Now, if our woods and meadows were utopias stuffed with nature, then I'd be more willing to stay obediently on the path and leave that space to them. But that's not how it is. Our green deserts, stripped of biodiversity, tell a very different story. The grouse moors are burning, rivers suffocate in pollution from chicken farms, and all the while we're told to keep out, stay in our designated spaces. The keepers of the keys, though, they are not taking care of the places that they exclude us from, even though they often use the argument that keeping out roamers like me would ruin the countryside. Besides everything else I've said so far, the disconnect that comes from all this exclusion is dangerous. You know, the less we tread these hills, sleep under the stars, swim in the rivers, the less we notice the damage being done, the less we care. And if we don't care, we won't demand change. And nature needs us to be standing up and shouting for it. And that is why we need more people in more places, witnessing, learning, and engaging. There's a strange irony in the phrase, leave no trace. Of course, we should always tread lightly when we're out on trips, packing out our rubbish, respecting wildlife, not trampling wildflowers, picking up poo, but all good things, yeah. But what if instead of leaving no trace, we made more effort to leave a positive trace? A smile to a stranger, a cleaned up fire pit, a friendly conversation with a farmer. Instead of sneaking through the land, leaving no trace like ninjas as though we don't belong there, what if we walked through it as caretakers? Because who's going to fix this mess? The writer Molière said, it's not only for what we do that we are held responsible, but also for what we do not do. And so we need to get involved. Us, the wanderers, those of us who run at sunrise, paddle rivers, go for a stroll, roll out a sleeping bag at dusk. We're the ones who need to step up and take care for places because it's not working at the moment. The solution isn't just demanding more access, it's also proving we deserve it. If we leave the land better than we found it, perhaps we can shift the conversation from exclusion to stewardship so that it's not us versus them. This isn't about division, and it shouldn't be about pitting landowners against walkers or farmers against campers. I've never met anyone who doesn't love nature. Farmers, of course, love the countryside. Who wouldn't prefer our countryside to be thriving and sustainable? Everyone wants that. Everyone loves the sunrise. Everyone loves the woodland in spring, a view from the hilltop. We all have so much in common. much more than divides us. The countryside matters for food, for livelihoods, for wildlife, for culture, for tradition, for adventure. And these things are all valid. And my time spent roaming and gently trespassing and reading books about all sides of this debate have convinced me that it's possible for all these things to exist together. We just have to pull in the same direction. We're not going to get anywhere by shouting angrily on Twitter or across a farmer's fence. We're going to get together and make a difference by what we share. I love nature. You love nature too. Right, how can we all now work together and make this better? Very simple question, and I'd love to hear your answers.